Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
And that breaking news is coming to you from Hazel Park. We've learned a lot more within the past half hour about a gun found in a student's backpack at Hazel Park High School.
We now know that state and local police have been at the school investigating after getting a tip through the OK2Say system. And when police got here, the student denied being in possession of that gun that they eventually found. Detectives searched his locker and the bag he had with him, and they did not find a gun.
When police told the student he'd have to leave the school while they investigated, though, the student said he had to go get his other backpack he'd left inside a classroom, and that's where a detective did indeed find a handgun. The student was arrested, and police believe there's no further threat to students or to staff. Now to a controversy surrounding a local school principal that has a community deeply divided.
This is happening at Memphis Community Schools in northern Macomb County. A parent said that she found screenshots of text messages containing racist and derogatory remarks, allegedly from the elementary school principal. These are just accusations at this point. Erica Erickson has been speaking with school officials and parents about all this. And Erica, again, these are just accusations at this point, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And there are some very, very strong opinions on both sides of this. Some parents who are supporting that principal say it's not fair. She was disciplined without evidence. Others are telling a much different story.
How many years do all these complaints go back?
I would say 3 to 4 probably.
This is just one of many parents accusing the principal of Memphis Elementary, Susan Hankins, seen here discussing a memorable year ahead for children on the district's homepage, of repeated bullying, racism, and homophobia. Disturbing screenshots of text messages, though appearing but not confirmed to be from her, now circulating all over social media.
What do you think when you see those messages?
Makes me sick. It makes me absolutely sick. There's stuff about mentally handicapped in there, gays, black people, like it's just not okay.
This parent says back in April of 2023, she found an unlocked cell phone with disturbing messages from over 5 years ago while mushroom hunting in these woods not far from the school.
Why did you hold on to it?
Honestly, just because of what we have dealt with in the past.
She says she eventually returned the phone, but brought photos of the 11 alleged text exchanges to the school board last month. And this week, the board holding a meeting and placing Hankins on what the board calls non-disciplinary paid administrative leave.
I move that the Board of Education create a temporary position called Superintendent Elementary Principal.
Well, the superintendent says she can't comment on personnel matters. She does say, in part, quote, Memphis Community Schools take seriously its responsibilities to safeguard, nurture, and develop the children entrusted to us, and we do not tolerate discriminatory behavior by any employee. All employees are expected to treat all others equally and professionally, regardless of race.
When we tried to reach Hankins, Local 4 told they had nothing to say and to go away. Meanwhile, some parents now creating a Facebook page in support of the principal, saying they could never believe the wild accusations against her. Others say they're not surprised and would like to see permanent action from the district.
Do you think she should be fired?
I don't think she should be working with children. I do not.
That parent we spoke to says at the very least she'd like to see empathy training for all staff. Now, on the other side, those in support of the principal were hearing talks of possibly a boycott just to show their support tomorrow. Reporting live, Erica Erickson, back to you.
Oh, we hope they get to the bottom of this for all parties involved. Erica, thank you.
Eminem fans hoping to meet the rap icon losing thousands in an elaborate scam involving a fake Slim Shady. The scammer even sending potential victims forms of ID, including a Michigan driver's license and a passport that appear to be from Marshall Mathers, a.k.a. Eminem himself. But they're nothing more than fakes. Consumer investigator Hank Winchester has more on the scam and the investigation.
Here in the Motor City, we obviously all know Eminem, Shady Records. He is a rap icon known around the world. But unfortunately, right now, there are also dozens of celebrity-related scams, some involving Eminem. This particular scam involves the opportunity to meet Eminem in person. And as you will see, some people are losing big money. An M&M imposter using his one shot, his one opportunity to scam the public.
I'm Slim Shady, yes, I'm the real Shady. All you other Slim Shadys.
The fake Slim Shady scamming people, taking their money, disappearing like Houdini.
I was just online looking at his pages and stuff, and then it said, oh, you can get a hold of him through Telegram. So I did that, thinking that I was going to get a hold of him. And it was an imposter.
Sarah Pryor spoke with me via FaceTime from her home in California. She thought she was paying up to meet M&M in Metro Detroit.
What happened is he's like, well, you don't have a fan card. And I'm like, what's the fan card? I didn't even know what the fan cards were, because I know that they're not even true now. But so that's how it first started, was with the fan cards for $950. And then it was a $500 like fee for that.
Then the ask for more money.
Then he convinced me, he's like, well, then we need to meet. And then I was like, okay. And then that was $3,400 first, just to talk to the manager.
And how much money have you spent altogether, do you think?
So it's $25,000.
Celebrity scams, they're not uncommon. This woman told me she lost money talking to somebody she thought was John Bon Jovi.
You know, it costs $1,500 to be a fan on a fan club if you really want to talk to me or associate with me.
And this M&M fan from Allen Park thought he was talking to the real M&M.
Hello, Frederick. This is Marshall.
It was a scammer who took his cash.
He was very, very down to earth, and like I told my son, and I really believed, that it was him.
Back out here live, these cases, they are just heartbreaking. I mean, can you imagine $25,000, whether it is a celebrity meetup or a lottery deal? If you are being told to pay up front and you keep getting asked to pay more and more, understand it is likely a scam. The FBI now taking a look at this one. Marshall Mather's team, M&M, his legal team, they take this stuff very seriously and cooperate with authorities working to track these scammers down. We're live here tonight. Hank Winchester, help me, Hank. Back to you.
Yeah. Okay, Hank, we appreciate it.
Major changes coming to Detroit's emergency homelessness response system. This comes after the heartbreaking deaths of 2 kids. Police say they may have frozen to death while living in the family's car inside a parking garage in Greektown. At some point and prior to this incident, the mother of the 2 children did reach out to city and county agencies for help. There's a record of that. And just a couple of months before this tragedy, the city had implemented its immediate shelter housing plan that would have been able to provide the family with help. Mayor Duggan requested his team deliver a report on how to prevent it from happening to more kids. Their 7-point plan starts with requiring site visits for all families with minor children who reach out through the city's system. Special attention will also be given to families living in vehicles. The city is also expanding its helpline now to 24 hours a day and doubling the number of drop-in beds. Also, outreach teams will be expanded in the evening hours, and the city will continue to use police precincts for anyone looking for shelter on an emergency basis. And finally, the city will expand street outreach and education. If you know someone facing homelessness in the Detroit metro area, here is the number to call: 866-313-2520. And of course, we have that number on our website. Click on Detroit.com.
Well, we got word tonight the eastbound I-696 closure in Oakland County is being delayed 2 days. The eastbound lanes from Losser to I-75 will now shut down on Monday morning, not Saturday like originally planned. Work will start Monday morning at 9. The eastbound stretch will be closed for 2 years, and this is the recommended detour: the Lodge to the Davison to 75. Our Shante Passport talked with MDOT about what you need to know ahead of this massive closure.
Diane Cross, Public Information Officer with MDOT. A lot of people want to know what they can anticipate with this big 696 project.
Big is the word. This is going to have a big impact to drivers. All of eastbound traffic on 696 that comes in toward the Southfield area, you're going to be detoured onto southbound M10 into Detroit, and then to eastbound M8, and then back north on I-75 to continue eastbound on 696. Kind of a very big U shape that's about 25 miles long. Now you wonder, why in the world would we do that? Well, first of all, state roads, I, M, and U.S. roads. So we need to keep our traffic detoured onto other freeway roads, other state roadways. And for the kind of capacity that 696 has, which could be close to 100,000 drivers a day that we need to detour, you don't want that on your local roads. So we are detouring it to other freeways. But the thing is, drivers can drive on any road they want. As long as you're legally allowed to drive your vehicle, you can drive on pretty much anything other than a private road. So we can expect we're going to see a lot of heavier traffic on the local roads in Oakland County for anyone going eastbound for the next 2 years.
Now, Diane, I know you've heard this a time or two before. People, when they drive on 696, they think it's fine. Why are we here?
Well, what people think is fine versus what engineers who've studied the lifespan of the concrete and know what's just around the corner, that it's ready to crumble, like what we had in the Macomb area about maybe 6 or 7 years ago. We rebuilt that portion of 696 because we just had chunks of concrete coming out. We've just rebuilt the last 2 years the west end of the project from 275 to Lasser. It had been crumbling for years and we just kept putting Band-Aids on it, just doing repair. This stretch is ready to reach that point. And the most important part is we have the funding right now from the feds, some from the state, and we all know we don't know if we're going to have road funding. We have no idea what the future holds with this, but the road needs it. We've got the money. This is the time to do it.
All right, and just snap the QR code at the bottom of your screen. It's going to take you to our detailed article on the I-696 closure, along with suggestions on alternate routes.
All right, let's get a check on the forecast on this Thursday evening. We've had some changes in recent days and more are on the way. Kim Adams is tracking the forecast for us and everything we need to know. We've got some activity on the radar there.
We do. We're kind of all over the place for the next several days. Right now we have just light to moderate rain. Most of the heavier rain has now moved off to the east of us. Temperatures do remain above freezing right now. In fact, temps some places still in the 40s, including downtown at 45, but the rest of Metro Detroit dropping down into the upper 30s. And the sun is just about to set here in a few minutes, and that means that those temps will drop a little further. And so bridges and overpasses might become a little bit slippery, but most of the rain is going to be out of here. There might be a wet snowflake mixed in here and there, but that would be about it. I want to check in on wind gusts because it's starting to pick up, and winds tomorrow, when you watch us 24 hours from now, you'll see these numbers definitely in the 30s and possibly even higher, as we do expect quite a bit of wind over the next several days. And we'll check in on our national temperatures for folks headed down south. It is finally warm again in Florida, Georgia, and down into New Orleans and over to Houston. And we're starting to warm up here, but we're going to have a quick cool down this weekend, and then next week we get even warmer. So it's kind of a roller coaster ride. We'll go on it coming up in a few minutes.